All right, first up, let's talk about Deion Sanders. All right, so I've spent a fair amount of time talking about Deion on here because this is a man who talks a lot. And when you talk a lot, you're bound to wind up with your foot in your mouth every now and then. During Super Bowl week, he swung by the Rich Eisen Show set on Radio Row to talk to Rich. And of course, the main subject was Deion's new job as head football coach at the University of Colorado. They were talking about Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts and how he's been able to deal with adversity to have the year that he's had this past season. And Rich asked Deion if he's able to tell when he walks into a recruit's home if the recruit has whatever it is that Hurts has in him that's allowed him to succeed. And Deion starts talking about how they have different attributes that they are looking for when they go out to recruit, like smart, tough, fast, disciplined with high character. And hey, aren't we all? I mean, that's pretty standard coach speak, honestly. No need to make a full episode about that. Let's go ahead and end it here, and I will catch y'all next week. Oh shit, wait. He kept going. He said, quote, "Now quarterbacks are different. We want mother, father, dual parent. We want that kid to be a 3.5 and up because he has to be smart. Not bad decisions off the field at all because he has to be a leader of men." Okay, so we're definitely going to have to discuss that, but hold on because he took it even further. He wants those attributes for a quarterback as well as his offensive lineman, but defensive lineman, he's looking for something different. This is what he had to say about them. Quote, "Defensive lineman is totally opposite. Single mama trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I'm talking about just trying to make it. He's trying to rescue mama, like mama barely made the flight. And I want him to just go get it." Now, before we get to Deion, Rich and his crew, which appears to consist of, if I did my research right, Chris Brockman, TJ Jefferson, and Mike Del Tufo, laughed their asses off, particularly at that last part about the defensive lineman raised by a single mother. And it reminded me of when Dave Chappelle talked about leaving Chappelle's Show all of a sudden because he was doing a skit one day that was intended to be a social commentary or satirical look about race in society. But a white crew member was laughing at what he was doing, and he was laughing in a way that Dave felt was more at the racism than it was about the message that Dave was trying to send. If you wonder what Dave is talking about when he talks about this incident and how you can tell the difference between laughs, please go look at this clip of these guys just laughing and tell me that it doesn't irk your soul in some way. Now, I want to be clear for the record. I'm not accusing any of these gentlemen of being racist. Legally speaking, I would never do that. Illegally speaking, I might, but never record it on camera and on a microphone without a lawyer on retainer. I will helpfully point out that Rich, Chris, and Mike are white and TJ is black, although it's also important to note that that does not absolve him of anything, as you can still harbor anti-black feelings as a black person. And you can also, as a black person, laugh along with your white coworkers at stuff that's terrible because you need that job and you're uncomfortable. So it is what it is. And I totally get that as well. Trust me. But the laughs really got me, as did the fact that nobody pushed back on what Deion said at all. And I get it was a lighthearted Super Bowl Radio Row interview, but good Lord. And a big reason for that is because of the lack of opportunities in media for people who come from backgrounds like the one Deion was describing. Sports media in particular reminds me of my brief foray into the world of venture capital after the summer of 2020 when everyone was pretending to want more diversity. What these firms actually wanted was surface level diversity. What does that mean? Obviously black or brown skin, but you also have to have gone to these same institutions like a Stanford that the white venture capitalists have gone to and also have similar beliefs to them, or at least not threaten to rock the boat with your own beliefs. When you're recruiting, but not specifically seeking out different educational backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, or upbringings, you will not get markedly different results than what you've been doing, which is what they want, but that's a whole episode on its own that I'm going to have to do one day. And sports media is very similar to that. And because these guys presumably were not raised by a single parent or in a household where they had to utilize the free lunch program, they laughed. And I have a huge problem with that. Now back to Deion. At the very least, he should know better than to say this out loud. And I've gone back and forth on whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing that he said it into a mic. I mean, I bet a lot of other college coaches feel the same way, so it's good to get all this out in the open. But I don't get how he would personally benefit from it by saying it publicly, other than to signal to his admin and boosters that he's recruiting the quote-unquote right kids. He's getting crushed for it, and rightfully so. Dabo Swinney, a man who has a history of saying incredibly dumb things publicly, hadn't even gone this far yet, and if he had, he'd be getting crushed as well. It perpetuates incredibly harmful stereotypes that will, despite not mentioning race, disproportionately harm black kids, because normally when people throw out these stereotypes, they're talking about black people, whether or not the information is factual or applies. Also, are these stereotypes even true? Of course not. LeBron James was famously raised by a single mother. He seems like an incredible leader to me. Bad GM, but great leader. Patrick Mahomes is quite possibly the best quarterback we've ever seen, and his parents divorced when he was 11. I mean, hell, Deion's current quarterback is his son Shedeur, and he divorced Shedur's mom when he was 11. Maybe you should only play quarterback if your parents got divorced when you were 11. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan's names are synonymous with hard work. You wouldn't want defensive linemen with their mindset? Both were raised in two-parent homes. Or how about all-time NFL sacks leader Bruce Smith, the only NFL player ever with 200 sacks? In a 2000 Washington Post article by Liz Clark that details Bruce's incredible career and work ethic, this quote stands out. But it is his father's imprint, from his high cheekbones to the sensitive soul within, that has made Smith the player and person he is today. George W. Smith was there at every phase in his children's lives. The article also notes that Bruce was raised in a middle-class neighborhood. Doesn't exactly sound like the free lunch guy that Deion's looking for. There are so many cases that refute Deion's stereotypes that I'd actually be worried that this is the criteria that he's using. Not only will he be missing out on a ton of great players that he won't even bother looking at due to his criteria, but if I'm an opposing coach, I'm 1000% bringing up his words when recruiting any player considering going to play for him at Colorado. Because like I said, even if other coaches feel that way, none of them are on tape saying it, while a bunch of losers laugh their asses off about it. It seems so easy to spin too. Raised by two parents, Deion thinks you're soft and unmotivated. Raised by a single parent, he thinks you can't lead. Raised by a grandparent, single dad, two moms, two dads, whatever, he doesn't even consider you exist. This is a guy who already has a target on his back for so many reasons, and he just keeps making it bigger and bigger. I'm still pulling for him because of what his success could mean for the success of other black coaches, but I'll be damned if he ain't making it hard.